What if the real secret to being incredibly strong wasn't about constantly trying to change who you are, but about embracing the person you already are? Today, we're diving into the power of your authentic self.
I mean, you see this question everywhere, right? Are you the best version of yourself? It's what the whole self help industry is built on. But what if that constant chase, that endless climb, is actually what's holding you back?
So it feels like we're given these two options, this exhausting ladder of always becoming something else, or the grounded strength of just being. What if the real journey isn't up some mountain, but inward? All right, so let's really challenge this idea that we constantly need to improve. Let's explore what it means to build on a foundation of just being enough, right here, right now. Okay, let's talk about this word garner. It literally means to collect or accumulate something. And isn't that exactly what society tells us to do? Garner more achievements, garner more approval, garner more skills. This endless collection is the fuel for that self-improvement machine. And here's the crazy paradox in all this. If you are always trying to become more, to be better, then think about it. You can never actually be your best self. You're stuck on a journey that has no destination. The truth is, you're already enough. So, okay, if we stop all that chasing, what happens then? Well, when you start focusing on just being authentic, something really fascinating starts to happen. It's kind of like you create your own gravity. When you're just being you, you stop chasing and you start attracting. The right people, the ones who really get you, they just naturally find their way into your life. And the ones who don't, they just drift away. It's like authenticity is this amazing, effortless filter. But look, being authentic doesn't mean life is suddenly perfect. Of course not. We all stumble. We all fall. And that brings us to the real heart of this whole idea, understanding the natural rhythm of our setbacks and our comebacks. We're calling this the fall and growth cycle, and this is not a sign of weakness. It's just a fundamental, natural part of being human. It's that whole process of hitting a low, picking yourself back up, and then using that very experience to become even more resilient than you were before. So this whole cycle, it really breaks down into 4 stages. It all starts with being authentic. Then comes the fall, which is inevitable, right? But the real magic happens in step 3, recovery. When you start to see recovery not as a weakness, but as a serious display of strength, that's what turns the fall into fuel. And listen, there is absolutely no shame in falling. Shame is just wasted energy. Instead of pouring energy into feeling ashamed, we can redirect it into rebuilding. It's kind of like that Japanese art kintsugi, where they fix broken pottery with gold, making it even more beautiful because of its cracks. Because at the end of the day, this cycle isn't about just getting back to where you were before. It's about forging a self that is fundamentally stronger, way more resilient. We're basically taught to be terrified of failure, to see it as a sign of weakness or something to be ashamed of. But the fall and growth cycle, it shows us the real truth, that failure is actually where we find our strength. It's an opportunity. It's the very thing that builds resilience. And you know what? It just takes one fall, one tough moment, one recovery to prove to yourself that, yeah, you can get back up. Every single time, it's another building block. And the payoff in the long run, it's huge. Every time you go through this cycle, you're not just fixing something, you're reinforcing your entire foundation. You're literally building a version of yourself that is stronger than before. So, the big question is, how do we actually do this in real life? Well, it doesn't happen in some big dramatic moment. It happens in the small, quiet things we do every single day. There's this quote that just absolutely nails it. A quiet habit repeated long enough becomes a loud part of who you are. I mean, that's such a powerful way to think about where our real identity comes from, right? It's funny, we tend to think it's all about these huge, life-changing events, but we completely underestimate the power of those small, consistent things we do. The tiny, almost invisible actions you repeat day in and day out, those are the things that slowly but surely shape exactly who you are. They're the things that end up speaking the loudest. So I'm going to leave you with this challenge. What's one quiet habit, just one, that you can start repeating to become more loudly, more authentically yourself? Seriously, the answer to that question could change everything.